Here is the AI-generated story, The Chronarium of Whispering Cairns, a time travel tale gone terribly wrong. The temporal displacement rig hummed, a discordant symphony of existential dread, as Tristan Harrington materialized not in 1888 London, as planned, but in a desolate, wine-scoured expanse dominated by towering, crudely stacked stone formations, the Whispering Cairns. He'd meant to warn his beloved, Esme Sullivan, about the impending Jack the Ripper slayings, a noble if ethically dubious act. Instead, he'd landed himself knee-deep in an altered timeline, the stench of unintended consequences thick in the air. His arrival had caused a ripple, a butterfly flapping its wings into a hurricane. Esme, his Esme, was now erased from existence. He'd calculated the jump perfectly, or so he'd thought. Now, the air hung heavy with the dissonance of temporal paradox. The villagers, a somber, weathered lot, were not exactly welcoming. They spoke a dialect vaguely reminiscent of Gaelic, their eyes glinting with suspicion and a palpable sense of guarded secrets. The women were as rough and strong as the men, with long, thick braids cascading down their backs. Tristan soon learned he'd arrived in the midst of a ritual, a ceremony disrupted by his clumsy intrusion, the consequences of which were slowly, but surely unraveling the threads of time itself. He was taken to their leader, a formidable woman named Zelda Lockwood. Her face, etched with the harsh realities of their isolated existence, held a gaze that could peel paint. Zelda revealed their village was bound to protect an artifact of immense power, the Chronarium, a crystalline orb said to control the very flow of time. His unplanned arrival had weakened its defenses, making it vulnerable to the encroaching shadows that threatened to consume their existence. The Chronarium, he learned, was more than just a time machine. It was a repository of temporal energy, a delicate nexus holding the fabric of reality together. His accidental disruption had fractured this nexus, not only erasing Esme from his timeline, but unleashing a monstrous entity, Chronophage, that devoured moments and consumed futures. It was a creature born of temporal anomalies, and he, Tristan, was directly responsible for its birth. Zelda gave him a choice, a path fraught with peril. Either help them restore the Chronarium and mend the shattered timeline, or bear the unbearable weight of his actions. He didn't hesitate. The image of Esme, her laughter, her kindness, was etched in his mind, a beacon guiding him through the encroaching darkness. He would fight for her, even if it meant facing the very creature he'd inadvertently created. Their quest began, a harrowing journey through treacherous landscapes and perilous trials. He learned their names: Josiah Collins, a grizzled warrior with a haunted past; Thea Yates, a young woman with an uncanny understanding of temporal energies; and Benedict Manning, a scholar burdened by the weight of forgotten lore. Each cairn they encountered was a gateway to a different era, a sliver of time they needed to mend. They battled grotesque temporal wraiths, creatures twisted and distorted by the fractured timeline. They navigated treacherous landscapes where time flowed erratically, aging or regressing with every step. Tristan's scientific knowledge, combined with the villagers' ancient wisdom and innate connection to the Chronarium, proved an invaluable asset. As they drew closer to the Chronophage, Tristan began to understand the true cost of his actions. Time, he realized, was not a plaything, not a resource to be manipulated at will. It was a fragile tapestry, woven with the threads of countless lives, and even the slightest alteration could unravel the entire pattern. The weight of his responsibility bore down on him, threatening to crush him under its immense pressure. The final confrontation took place within a cavern deep beneath the Whispering Cairns, where the Chronarium pulsed with a frenetic, unstable energy. The Chronophage, a monstrous entity of swirling shadows and fractured timelines, loomed before them, its eyes burning with cold, temporal fire. The battle was fierce, a desperate dance against the entropy of time itself. Thea Yates, channeling the Chronarium's power, erected a shield to protect them from the Chronophage's attacks. Josiah Collins, with his unwavering courage, struck the beast with blows that seemed to echo through the ages, and Benedict Manning, reciting ancient incantations, attempted to bind the creature, to sever its connection to the fractured timeline. Tristan, fueled by his love for Esme and his burning desire to atone for his mistakes, focused his mind, drawing upon every ounce of scientific knowledge and temporal understanding he possessed. He channeled the residual energy from his time-traveling device, focusing it into a concentrated beam of temporal energy. He fired the beam into the heart of the Chronophage, disrupting its chaotic structure, collapsing its fractured timelines. The creature roared in agony, its form flickering and fading as the very fabric of time began to repair itself. With a final, deafening shriek, the Chronophage vanished, leaving behind only the faint scent of ozone and the lingering echoes of its tormented existence. With the Chronophage defeated and the Chronarium stabilized, the timeline began to heal. The fractured realities coalesced, the paradoxes resolved themselves, and the village of Whispering Cairns returned to its rightful place in the stream of time. He prepared himself for the jump, the last act of the play that he alone had written. The device now primed, he could return to the moment before he left to stop himself. Tristan Harrington stepped into the light, hoping with every fibre of his being that he would find Esme waiting for him on the other side. That concludes the Chronarium of Whispering Cairns. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more.